Welcome to Sam's Russian Adventures and welcome to a Russian village. Not my Russian village, but a Russian village where I'm staying for a few days to kind of whatever the word is, get back into life, build up my strength again, because I had a virus. I was pretty bad, and that's what I'm going to talk about today, how I've been, what happened, and how things are changing for me now. So just really an update video more than anything else. Nobody here apart from the barking dogs that can hear me coming from a mile off and have let off a song of welcome to the neighborhood for me. I really like this village. It's a village where my friend lived. I'm staying right now at his guest house for 5 days. And it really is peaceful here, apart from the dog. Imagine living next door to that and hearing that dog every day. It would just be very frustrating, wouldn't it? Blimey. But it is what it is. So there you go. Some nice houses here as well, right? Very nice houses. Different styles, like always. Russian village, everybody builds the house that they want on the plot of land that they've bought. Look at the size of that wall, blimey. This over here is my friend's house, and I'm tempted to buy some paint and just come here as a surprise and paint his wall for him. What do you think? Would that be a nice thing to do? Very peaceful again now that the dog has stopped barking, or maybe he can't hear me anymore. And this is actually 1 o'clock in the afternoon now. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's not going to get any brighter. It's been like this since sunrise, and it's going to stay like this until sunset. It'll be interesting to hear from you whether or not I look any different. I feel a lot different. I feel extremely weak. A couple of weeks ago, I got that telltale sign, that metallic taste in the mouth, and I lost my taste buds, and I was like, oh no, not this one again. Because if you've been following my channel, then you'll know the first time that I had that, well, it was pretty horrible for me. It was literally like, well, I'm going to show you this. Russian roads. Got to navigate my way around the river. The first time that I had that was pretty horrible for me. I was at home isolating for 1 month on my own. And it wasn't the illness, which was pretty horrible, but it was the isolation, 1 month alone at home. And I'm the type of person, when I become sick, I get motion sickness, which means I can't watch TV, I can't go online, I can't do anything. And the same happened this time, and I was like, oh no, I can't do this again. I can't be in isolation like this on my own. It was just very difficult. But I thought I felt better, and then I felt worse again, and then I was at home for a few days, and I ended up being at home for like 10 days on my own, and it really took its toll on me. It was extremely difficult. I became pretty anxious, and it just has not been a nice couple of weeks for me. And so finally I'm better, I'm on the mend, I'm no longer ill, and now I'm in recovery mode, and I've come to stay at my friend's house in this village to change the scenery, to wake up in a different place, and to kind of recoup again, because I'm extremely weak, and it's just not nice. But what this time has taught me, it's taught me an awful lot about my life, and an awful lot about the things I want to change in my life, the things I want to do differently in my life. And so therefore, the remainder of this video is going to be about that. Such a huge contrast in the types of houses, although the guy's car is probably more expensive than his house. I love how they have these little temporary signs, like this will glow in the dark, look, to show somebody that's the edge of the plot. And the same here as well on the other side. This is the corner where the driveway starts, look. And so if we look into the distance, if you can see the high-rise apartments, that is the town, that is the city of Vladimir. And to get to here, it takes about 5 minutes drive from the city. You just go all the way around the road and then back into the village this way. And it's a very sought after location. It doesn't look very beautiful right now, the view, of course. You know, it's in between seasons. And so no snow, no summer, just mud and dirt. So I wanted to go and walk down by the reservoir, but yeah, that mud is just not very enticing, is it, to be fair? And it's worse over there as well. Oh dear. Take a little walk down here just to show you that I'm not lying. I'm not trying to get out of having a nice walk. Look what it's like. Blimey. Ah, dear me. I need my football boots or my Wellington boots for this, because look at the road. This is not something that I want to be walking down at all. Yeah, gonna have to give that one a bit of a miss today, unfortunately. Let's take a walk down this road, see what we find. What do you think of this house? It's quite a nice mixture, isn't it? I like this road as well. Very nice. The back of the other houses over there, of course, and then this is the last row of houses before the reservoir. People often talk about time to reflect. You know, you're at home on your alone, you've got time to reflect. Well, I was at home alone, and I had time to think about all the things that I wanted to do in my life that I was not doing, basically. All the things I wanted to change. I didn't use it as a time for reflection. It just was something that was kind of forced upon me. And looking at it now, yeah, there's so many things that I need to change in my life, and I started immediately changing them. The first thing I did was last Friday I gave my life to Jesus. Now, I've been flirting with Christianity all my life. You know, I've been going to the church, my family goes to church. It's something I've been doing since childhood, but I've never really taken that full step, that full commitment. And I was invited to a Protestant church, which is essentially like an Anglican church that I didn't know existed here. And I went to that and I was amazed. Like, I was crying, literally crying. I was so happy because the congregation was just similar to an Anglican church, dancing and drums and guitars and everything. And it was just brilliant. And I felt like I'd found my home for the first time. A lot of the time that I've spent lately in Russia, I've just been working. That's all I do. I get up, I go to work, I come home, I edit videos and go to sleep. And you might be thinking, well, if you're working so much, where's all the content? I've actually got two and a half new channels already fully made and filmed with over a year's worth of content on them. I just need to push the button and upload them and have them, you know, go live. I've been creating tons and tons of content. But what I realized is I've been in Russia for about 22 years. And when I first came out here, I did the same thing as a lot of people do. I had the Russian girlfriends that go out, had loads of foreign mates and all that kind of stuff. But my life in Russia started to kind of gradually change. I think the longer I was here, the more Russian I knew. I ended up speaking less to foreigners, hanging around more just with Russian people. That's just, you know, obvious. That's what would happen. But my life has really changed. And it changed into a world where it was simply work, sleep, work, sleep. And that's all I was doing. And my sleeping pattern was all over the place. I've always been someone that sleeps really badly. And so, yeah, it was just like my life was feeling empty. This house is for sale. Look, it's got the number on there if you want it. And look at that for a house. Incredible. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And look, we've got the devil up there on the top of the roof. Wow. And I wonder if next door, I think it's probably his. I think it's all one house. I think it's just a garden. I think it is, because we've got like a guest house or a banyo over there. Let's have a quick look. Obviously the road is turning to a disaster. Blimey. And you might be thinking, well, why have they got no more houses over there? And I'll tell you about that in a second, as to why the road suddenly ends. Why are these the last 2 houses on it? Wow, amazing, amazing, wow. So the reason that the road ends here is because all the other houses on this side of the road over here, they've purchased the plots of land on this road and on the next road so that no one interferes with their view of the reservoir and all the fields. And so it's an interesting one. I guess as soon as the people that thought they were living on the last line, the last row of houses, realised that there was going to be 2 more plots for sale and could potentially block the view they've had for the last 10, 15 years, they were like, right, let's buy those plots up so that no one gets in the way. So they've got uninterrupted views, and that's where I'm living at the moment, and I'll show you that probably in a video, the next one. So during my time in Russia, I've been involved in lots of different projects that have involved the community. The main one obviously was my language school, where I employed gap year students and people that wanted to come to Russia to teach English, and they taught English to Russians and they themselves learned Russian, and lots going on with the community involved with that, and you know, lots going on. But that was a very difficult business to do, and so when that business ended, I went and looked for something more like YouTube, where it was just me and the camera. Now, me and the camera is great, except it's only me and the camera every day. And so slowly but surely, you know, I've got loads of friends, loads of acquaintances, but they've all got their own lives going on. They've got their own businesses, they've got their own families, their kids and everything else like that. And slowly but surely it ended up that I was just going to work every day, working and sleeping, working and sleeping, working and sleeping, and doing that every day. And it gets monotonous and gets pretty boring and gets pretty stressful. You stop seeing the good in things, and you just start seeing the negative. And yeah, when I was ill, that all came to view. I was like, wow, I've got to change things. This isn't the life that I want. This isn't the life that I need. What do I want here? You know, am I happy here? Would I be happier somewhere else? And I really thought about it and decided that, yeah, I want to live here, but I'm going to change. There's more things that I want. I want to be way more involved in the community than I am. Of course, I go out and I help people, and I, give things away, and I try and be nice to people, but I really want to get involved in this local church and become a person that, basically his life revolves around the church, just like my parents are. Luckily, I've been taken under the wing by a couple of people in this church. It's already been like 2 days since I joined. I went to the first service. I then went to the Bible study group. I'm going to church tomorrow night. Why have I got a blonde hair hanging from my thing? That's a bit of a giveaway, Sam. What have I been doing in the last couple of days? I just realised that I want more meaning. One of the things that I really want is a family. Now, when I first came to Russia, I used to go out, I had loads of different Russian girlfriends, because you're like a cool foreigner, especially in those days when I came here. It was like, oh, wow, an English person, and people like you because you're English, not because you're you, which is a really weird one, and you have really beautiful girls that really like you, and you're like, but why do you like me? You just like the fact that I'm a tall English guy, right? And it kind of tainted my view of whether or not I could have a real loving relationship in Russia. I know a lot of people also come here and they meet women straight away, and I didn't want to get into that stereotype that I came here to meet a woman and get married, right? And so, I don't know why, but I decided, that I'm not gonna, I don't know what happened. I stopped falling in love, I guess. I stopped falling in love. And I realised that I really want a family. Now, the likelihood is that I'm not gonna have my own kids now, right? I'm already 47 years old, but to fall in love with somebody else who has kids would be great, to take on that responsibility and to be a father would be really, really good. That's something that I definitely want to be able to do, to love somebody and to care for somebody and have somebody love me and, really enrich other people's lives as well. That is something that I really want. So hopefully, I'm going to start looking out, as it were, although when you look you never find, right? So yeah, interesting one. And then there's other things, like my house has been standing for so long because I'm building a house and it took me an eternity to get the electricity connected. Now finally that's connected, and now finally we're starting to get some progress. And so I'm going to have an update with my house video. And I've got another couple of projects, other things I'm doing in the community, two YouTube channels that are just about the community. That are things in my way of being able to give back to the community. So these are other things also that I want to get involved in and do more for other people, and not just the occasional, you know, walking around, see a babushka, give us some money type stuff. So I guess I just started realizing and looking into what it was that was missing that is going to fulfill my life, but at the same time enable me to fulfill other people's lives too. Let's take a little walk up here. All the roads look muddy and miserable now. Anyway, it doesn't really matter which road we walk down. Ooh, the ultra modern house. I've walked past this a few times in other videos, but it's looking very much done now. And I've got a couple more, but there's no way I'm going to walk down this path to show you. Another couple of things that are really important to me that I'm going to start doing now, I've already started one of them, which is running, is my personal fitness goals. Over the last year, I went on a keto diet, so I stopped eating all the chocolate, all of that stuff. But really, I feel that it's pretty weak when you're on the keto diet. You know, I've lost a lot of weight. I do not feel very strong at all, and obviously I've been ill now since then as well, so that's another thing. Getting back into fitness again is something that's going to be really important to me. But I think it's good to take these opportunities to look and realize what you need to change in your life, what you need to do differently, because when I was ill, I was more than ill. It was a wake-up call for me. Let's say that, a huge, huge wake-up call. Do you fancy living here? The what do you call it, Adele, forgot the English words, the place where you call the office for sales for Aristocrat. That is what this area is called, Aristocrat. If you fancy coming and buying a house like this, either a townhouse or its own house, they're all in pretty much the same style. It reminds me of England, right on the edge of Vladimir. I don't know what the prices are, but I think the website was there, you can have a look at. What do you think? It's going to be very, very nice when it's all done. And it's pretty much all done, but you can see, I guess, that people aren't really living here much, not many families here yet. And so it's kind of a bit, yeah, building site feel to it. Another year, next summer, life here is going to be very, very pleasing, very, very pleasant, very, very beautiful. Reminds me of the UK, to be fair. I don't know whether I'd like to live here because it's just like the UK. I like the modern street lights. Remind me of the Ivanova region. A lot of street lights like that in the Ivanova region, the region next to ours. What do you think? Do you like it here? I think it's pretty nice, isn't it? Looking at the types of cars here, you can immediately see that these are the cars of the people building or doing the refurbishments for the owners, rather than the cars of the owners. I can't see them buying houses like this and having cars like this, although the Volvo maybe, the Volvo perhaps. So one crazy thing that happened to me the second day when I was ill at home, I cracked my teeth in half. And one of my teeth, what am I saying, cracked in half. And I was at home with this illness that you're not really supposed to go and give to other people. And so I waited even today is the first time I'm able to get into the surgery. And so, if you know already on my channel, I had the problem with my gum. And so I'm there at home with the problem with my gum because I was supposed to go and see the specialist for my gum that week, but I was also ill, so I couldn't go see them. And I've cracked my tooth on the other side, and so eating it for the last 10 days has literally been putting something in my mouth, kind of sucking it until it disappears. And that really limited the type of food I could eat. So it really hasn't been a good couple of weeks. I like this long grass here. What do you think? You know, it looked wild, but it's actually quite nice. It's actually quite soothing to have. I wonder if they're going to let it grow even higher. And it makes like this little corridor to walk down. Obviously, it's going to be different when this is all grass or flowers or whatever people have decided to put in their gardens. I also like the fact that the fences here are not high, right? And they're, you know, transparent, which also is a good thing. You can kind of get a feel for the entire estate. Now, eventually, the estate will be closed. You can see that there's a gate here. It's going to be a gated community 100%. And so they don't have to worry about having, you know, these fences for privacy, because the only people that are going to be able to come here are going to be the people who live here. Another one of the things that I realised that I've encountered, and I've talked about this a few times, it's just that my videos really became to mean a lot less to me. I was creating videos because of the demand. Because we know if you make the video that's why Russia's better than the US, then we'll get views, right? But I started my channel by filming barbecues with my mates and stuff like that. And it got to the stage where I couldn't go and enjoy or do anything because I had to film it, right? If someone said, do you want to go out for the day? I'd be like, well, where are we going to go? They're like, oh, I'll just go around to see one of my friends or go and, you know, go for a barbecue. I'll be like, well, you know, how far is it? Because I need to make 5 videos today. And so I'll come if I can film the whole process, and we can film the journey, and I can film the journey back, and I can film the barbecue, and then we can make one other video on the way back about how Russian barbecues and American barbecues differ, you know? And that was what my life had become. It's pretty crazy to be like that, but that's what it had become, because when YouTube takes over and becomes a job and you're a complete slave to YouTube, then that's what your life is. And I want to go back 180 degrees into having a great life and filming it, rather than finding things to film for YouTube. Such a huge contrast. These little plant beds made out of old tyres, and you can't imagine the next door neighbour's going to be making the same ones, right? What's this here? Is it some sort of monster? That's cool, isn't it? Interesting. How amazing is this house here? Absolutely amazing. Wow. Really beautiful. Him and the neighbour as well, obviously. Look at the next door neighbour's house. Very, very cool. I mean, imagine how much this would cost, but how much would it cost in the UK? All right, if this was on the edge of London or something, blimey, that is amazing. But as it's Russia, they've got the haves and the have-nots, haves and the have-nots living side by side, because this is a village. So these people have been living there probably for ages, whereas these people purchased the land not long ago and bought the house, or built that house. So really what happened is I went from filming places and events and experiences and emotions and meetings and gatherings and things I do with my friends and, I don't know, not family, but yeah, to looking for stuff to find to show Russian life. And that got boring really quickly. It became monotonous, it became boring. I know it's the thing that we do now. I'm not complaining that other people do it, I do it, we all do it. We go out to look for things to film about Russia to show the world. Whereas that didn't used to be the thing. It used to be, I'm going for a barbecue with my friends this weekend and I'm going to take the camera along, you know? And that's what I want to get back to. It's very difficult, very, very difficult, because we want to make money from YouTube. And as we want to make money from YouTube, we need to comply. And if you want to make money from YouTube, you need to not just make videos about the stuff you're doing. You can't have a barbecue every day. Yeah, it's kind of a compromise. I like it when there's signs of the old village, and this is a sign of the old village, an older village house with an allotment in the garden, an old village road, which is soon ending, and you can see we've got some brand new townhouses coming our way. Do you fancy living in one of these? Guess people are already living in them. Or would you prefer a house on its own like that one? Another thing I found is that I'm filming so much, you're going to come across people that don't like you filming. And if you're filming 10 hours a day, then the chances are you're going to meet, I don't know, 5 of those people a day. And when you meet 5 of those people a day, they just ruin your mood completely. You don't want to get up the next day and go and film, basically. You do not want to go out. And this house here, blimey, I thought this was the main house, but it's not, it's just a shed. Look at this nice little village swing. Village house swing, I should say. The old village seems to have remained intact here as well, look. I love walking around the old type of village, so peaceful, interesting people you meet, but not today, it's a bit gloomy. It's interesting, in autumn, people are not around outside at all, it's not a thing. But whereas summer, winter, when people know exactly what they need to be wearing, you find people walking around. I like how this dude's got the blue car to go with the blue fence and the blue house. Look at this driveway. It's obviously had different, I don't know who made that driveway. Got a nice little cat here on the fence. Now this is a typical Russia, isn't it? Got the cat on the fence. We've got the rug hung out to dry after being beaten. We've got another cat in the window over there. Wow. Land of contrast. We've got a little pathway down here. Now I wonder if that's it probably goes in someone's garden, isn't it? I shouldn't really take that path, I don't think. So the overall message from this video is I've been ill, I'm on the mend, and I'm putting God first. Everything now I do is going to be through consultation with God, through the church, and nothing is probably going to change for you guys as viewers. Don't worry, I'm not going to preach to you guys or tell you what you should or shouldn't do in your life, but my life's going to change, and I'm really excited about the changes, and perhaps you're going to start seeing some changes on this channel. Now I've already filmed like loads of videos ahead already, so you're probably not going to see things initially, and if you do say, oh, you've changed, and I'm like, well, that video was made half a year ago, then there you go. But I'm going to try and get more connections, have more meaningful reasons for filming, rather than just, hey, Russia's amazing, which it is, right? Russia is amazing, I want you to come here, I want you to love it, I want you to do all of that, right? But it's got to be more about just more. There's got to be more to it than highlighting good things about the country I live in, basically. And so that is how I'm going to leave this message. God has already changed my life in these last 2 days. I'm not expecting you to support me or be against me or whatever. This is just a message to you, and really just an update from me. Okay, see you in the next video.